Have you ever looked at a team that is just stacked with talent? I mean, absolute all-stars, and wondered, why are they failing? Today, we're diving deep into Patrick Lencioni's classic, The Five Dysfunctions of a Team. And let me be clear, this isn't just some feel-good leadership book. For any serious executive or entrepreneur, this is a strategic playbook for building the ultimate competitive advantage. And that advantage is organizational health. So let's get into it.
First things first, we've got to understand the core problem that this whole framework is built to solve. It's a paradox, really. One that pretty much every leader runs into at some point.
I mean, think about it. You've done everything right on paper. You raised the money, you recruited brilliant, hardworking people with resumes that are just incredible. But a year later, what are you looking at? The results are disappointing, every decision feels like a battle, and there's this undercurrent of politics and gossip. You're left scratching your head wondering what on earth went wrong.
Now this right here, this captures a truth you see in sports all the time, right? You get a team of individual superstars, each one focused on their own stats and their own brand, and they almost always get steamrolled by a coordinated unit of maybe less talented players who are just laser-focused on one thing: winning together. The all-stars burn all their energy on internal drama, while the cohesive team points all its energy outward, at the competition.
So here's the big realization. The root cause of all that failure, it's not a skill gap. It's not a lack of intelligence. It's a health deficit. Your team isn't dysfunctional because the people are bad. It's dysfunctional because the environment makes it impossible for them to operate like a real team.
So how do we fix this? Well, Lencioni gives us this incredibly powerful diagnostic tool. It's a pyramid that lays out the 5 dysfunctions that are chained together and that absolutely cripple teams. And the logic of this pyramid is just brilliant. You see how each level builds on the one right below it? And here's the key, the absolute non-negotiable rule: you have to solve these in order, from the bottom up. There are no shortcuts. You can't just jump to accountability if you haven't dealt with the fear of conflict. And you're never going to have healthy conflict if you don't have that foundation of trust.
Okay, so let's break this down. We're going to start at the very foundation, with the single most important dysfunction you have to fix first, and that is trust.
All right, so trust. It is the bedrock of it all. But Lencioni is really specific here. We're not talking about just being able to predict what someone will do. We are talking about vulnerability-based trust. It's the kind of safety where you can walk into a meeting and say, you know what, I completely messed up the Q3 numbers. I was in over my head and I need help. And the immediate response from the team isn't blame. It's, okay, how do we fix it together? That's the whole game.
You see, most teams run on what you could call predictive trust. It's transactional. I trust you'll hit your deadline because you usually do. But Lencioni's talking about something so much deeper. Vulnerability-based trust isn't about predicting behavior, it's about being okay with being unguarded, being human with your colleagues. And honestly, that's the only way you ever truly kill office politics.
And this is the payoff. When you have that kind of deep foundational trust, the fear of conflict just evaporates. All of a sudden, a passionate debate isn't a personal attack anymore. It's just a collective, unfiltered search for the best possible answer. It truly becomes about finding the truth. And you can just see the domino effect right here on this slide. Trust unlocks healthy debate. Now, when people feel like they were actually heard in that debate, that they got to weigh in, they can commit to the final call. And that's a huge distinction Lencioni makes. Even if the decision wasn't their first choice, because they weighed in, they can now buy in. And it's that genuine buy-in, that commitment, that makes the next step possible: accountability.
This, right here, might be the hardest and most powerful outcome of the entire model. In a truly healthy team, accountability doesn't come from the boss. It comes from your peers. That feeling of not wanting to let down a colleague you respect, man, that is so much more powerful than the fear of getting in trouble with your manager.
Okay, so this all sounds great. It's a perfect world. But we need to have a very honest conversation about what it actually takes to make this stuff happen in the real world.
You know, the absolute genius of Lencioni's model is how simple it is. The 5 levels, they're easy to get, they're easy to remember. But you have to make no mistake, simple and easy are two very, very different things. Applying this is incredibly hard work.
First off, this isn't some weekend retreat or a quick fix. This is a long-term cultural shift. Second, if you're the leader, you have to go first. You have to be the most vulnerable one in the room, and that takes a ton of emotional energy. Third, this whole approach can feel completely foreign in traditional corporate cultures that are built on avoiding conflict. And finally, and this one's tough,
It demands that you have the guts to hold everyone to the same standard, especially those high performers who are hitting their numbers but are toxic to the team.
But for those leaders and teams who are willing to do that hard work, the payoff is just immense. This isn't about making everyone feel good. This is about winning.
So let's be absolutely clear. Great teamwork is not a soft skill. It's not some fuzzy, feel-good virtue. It is a deliberate, difficult, strategic business decision that you and your team have to choose to make every single day.
And this quote, this says it all, doesn't it? Just picture it. Imagine your entire company is a single rowing boat, and every single person is rowing with perfect power, perfect timing, and perfect sync. You would be an absolutely unstoppable force. That is the promise of becoming a truly healthy organization.
Look, I think this book is essential reading. If you are at all serious about building a high-performance team, you need to understand this model. I've dropped a link to the book and a few other resources for you down in the description. Go check it out.
And hey, if you got value out of this breakdown, make sure to subscribe. We do deep dives like this all the time into the frameworks that actually build successful businesses. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.